Do you know that the average small business owner in America only makes about $75,000 a year? And that includes lawyers and doctors and CPAs and other people that are employed independently, even though they have all that education, all that knowledge, all that skill set. They only make an average. Now, there's exceptions. There's plenty of individuals who are in small business for themselves who make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars a year. But it's a true fact that the average small business owner in America makes about $75,000 a year. I want to help you if you're going to start a new business. And whether you're 16, I mean it. You can be 16 years old. I started my first business when I was 14. Real business. I started a band that became the #2 band in St. Louis when I was 14 years old. So you don't have to be old. You don't have to be old like me. But I started a business last year, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, except that I will tell you that I was alive in the 50s and maybe the 40s. And I've started several new businesses recently. So I became a YouTuber recently. That just started this year. I became a YouTuber. So that's a brand new business I started. And the only expense for me was to spend $79 a month for 1 year to become part of Think Media. And they're mentioned below, who taught me how to become a YouTuber. So that is true. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start a brand new business right now with no expense. I could have started this YouTube channel with no expense. I could have started without bother. There's so many free videos about how to become a YouTuber. I'd already looked at a bunch of those and I decided, you know what? I want to get it from the pro. So I spent the $79 a month, but with zero, completely from your house, you can start many, many, many small businesses that can pay you over $100,000 a year and should pay you over $100,000 a year if you're willing to do the work. That's really what it boils down to. I have consulted with over 300 small businesses in the last 12 years. I have written 11 books on small business, and I can tell you that the difference between those who are successful in small business and those who are not successful in small business is persistence and being willing to do the hard things. So I have 6 more small business ideas for you today. I have 3 days of previous small business ideas. I think there was a total of 18 when you count them all up, but I've got 6 more for you today. Take a look at these 6 and see if any of them fit your skill sets, fit your style, fit your personality. That's what you want to think about. Do these businesses fit me? You don't want to go into a business that doesn't work for you. Although I am certainly not a graphic artist. I can't draw a stick figure that anybody would recognize. But I've been in art-related businesses my entire life. How do I do that? I hire graphic artists. So you don't have to be an artist to be in an art-related business. You can hire that done. But I wouldn't have gone into the business of graphic arts. Let's just put it that way. I went into businesses that required art, and then I needed to hire graphic artists. Okay, so without further ado, this is Randy Kirk at Small Business Daily, and if you like this content, would you push like? There you go. Okay, let's go do it. And remember again, 3 previous days, 12 other possible opportunities for you that you go back and look at. We're going to do the last 6 today. All right. We're going to start out with something you might actually really like. Do you like old folks? Do you like elderly folks? I mean, I'm bordering on elderly, I guess. I'm thinking of, folks that are older than me who may need a companion, or they may need a slightly higher level of care. There are millions of elderly adults in America today, and the numbers are just going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. So if you love working with elderly people, you can go to work for somebody that takes care of elderly people. You can go to an independent living place or a place that has elder care, and those folks are out there, and they will employ you and they will pay you well. It's not a bad paying industry for the most part. And you can also go to work for somebody that sends out companions and nurses, et cetera, to people's homes for in-home care. Those are certainly possibilities for you. But if you want to make the real money, then you want to become a companion, either full-time or part-time. Because if you're the one that's doing the marketing, if you go back and look at the 3 previous videos, you'll see that this is a theme. If you're the one that's doing a marketing and you're getting yourself up on Google My Business and on Yelp, and you're doing videos and you're doing a little social media marketing, and you're putting yourself out there to different agencies and people out there to let them know that you're interested in elder care, now you can make probably at least $35 an hour for companion care, because that's what the agency is going to charge, and then they're going to give you 22 of it, something like that. So if you want to make the $35 an hour, then you've got to do the marketing, you've got to do the interviewing, you've got to manage the relationships, and so that's what you're getting paid the extra money for. And if you can possibly situate yourself to where you're calling on elder care folks that need a companion or need a nurse in more expensive neighborhoods, then you can probably charge more. If you can add a few services, you're even more likely to get $50 an hour. The way that you would do that, let's say maybe you're doing a little of their bookkeeping, maybe you're running some errands or even taking them out on shopping trips. Maybe you're doing a little minor cleanup in the house or helping them by serving them lunch. Maybe you are a skilled individual. You have some nursing training, or maybe you are a nurse. Obviously, if you're a nurse, you're going to make more than $50 an hour to do in-home care. Again, if you are doing it directly, not if you're doing it through an agency, then you're not going to make as much. So the question becomes, which way do you want to do this? Now, speaking of agency, once you've started to build your clientele and they like you and you start to build a reputation and they start to refer you, at some point, you can hire people to come in who are going to be the ones working for the $22 an hour while you're paid the $35 an hour. So you can build an agency one person at a time. If you're going to do it with skilled individuals like nurses, there's going to be licensing required. If you're going to do just the companion type situation and the helping around the house and whatnot, no license required in most states. I'm going to caveat there. You want to check your state to find out what might be required. You might need bonding, you might not, but check out whether you might need something in order to do elder care, just companionship care, and taking care of their bookkeeping and things of that nature. So that's just one more way you can make $100,000 a year. If you're full-time at $50 an hour, that is $100,000 a year. If you are working 30 hours a week, you're not going to get there. But if you're hiring others, then you can probably work 20 hours a week while they work 70 or 80 or 100 hours a week, and you make the difference. So elder care is a great one, and it's a growing business. There's no end to how many folks in my age bracket are now becoming folks who need a walker. So let's move on. Makeup specialist. Yeah, I happen to know this because my daughter did it for a while. You need to hustle to make $100,000 a year. You need to make sure you're getting 2 or 3 weddings a weekend. You need to make sure maybe you're getting a midweek wedding too. You need to look for other parties and opportunities that are not necessarily on the weekends, because there's just not enough hours on the weekends to make to get that $100,000 a year. But like every other job we've talked about, if you build a reputation, now you can hire others who you are sending out to do the makeup at these parties. So parties and weddings and other events. So this is a definite opportunity. There's almost the amount of money you can charge for this is almost limitless, because you're charging by the individual makeup job that you do, and you've got possibly 4 women, and you're going around and you're taking care of all 4 at once, and you can definitely charge $50 an hour, and then you can expand your business to include others who you've hired to go out and do the work. So makeup artist would be another way that you can do this. You can also sideline working in the department stores in the makeup department, doing makeup at that time too. Obviously, they're not paying $50 an hour, but they commonly might be paying 30 in that area, $30 an hour for that kind of work. When you first started watching these videos 4 days ago, if you've watched all 4 days, or even when you first started watching today, you might have thought that the very first words out of my mouth were going to be e-commerce or e-commerce related, selling something on Etsy or on Amazon or on setting up your own Shopify or something of this nature, some kind of an e-commerce activity where you're buying products and selling products, where you're buying products from overseas and warehousing them in your garage and shipping them all over the world or whatever, because that's what most of the stuff online is going to be talking about. Those folks are going to take your money and you're not going to make any money. Can you make money on e-commerce? I make money on e-commerce every single day. I sell a product called Thorn Busters, which is a tire liner that stops puncture flats. But I've been in the tire liner business since 1979. I know something about the tire liner business. I am able to import them from China. I'm able to have the margins necessary to make a living on Amazon. And I make a very good living working about 1 hour a day, just selling those liners on Amazon. So can you make money? Absolutely, you can make money on any of those places that we do, eBay, Etsy, all the rest. You can design your own jewelry. You can design your own clothes. You can create your own t-shirts. You can write books and sell books. You can write short books and sell short books. You can do videos and put them up on Amazon and get people to watch those videos like I'm doing right now. There's all kinds of ways to make money on e-commerce, okay? Is it going to be one of the easier ways? Is it going to be one of the ways that you have no expense up front? Not as likely. You're more likely to spend money up front, more likely to spend money on advertising in order to get people to find you. Because why? Because it is very competitive. There's more than $100,000 a year to be made selling jewelry on Etsy, okay? You can make way more than $100,000 a year on Etsy, but you're not going to do it as a result of putting up a few of your articles and hoping that somebody finds them. I'm on eBay as well. I make something like 20 times as much, no, it's got to be more than that, at least 20 times as much on Amazon as I do on eBay for exactly the same products. Okay, you got to know where to sell it, you got to know how to advertise it, you got to know how to promote it, and you got to spend money. You're going to spend money to make money in these categories. So that's why I didn't really spend much time on this kind of category. But I have run into some people who have done well without much upfront expense. And apparently it's a big category. I don't know anything about it. I do know that you can buy used clothing and resell it. You can buy antique clothing and resell it. You can buy some kinds of antique products and resell them. You can buy things that are in great demand because you found the source and sell them. I have one friend who made a lot of money. She would walk through trade shows and find companies that were not online yet. They didn't have any Amazon activity yet. And they would sell her the stuff that they were no longer selling, their products that were no longer moving. They would sell stuff that they had too many of. Sometimes they would sell first quality stuff, the stuff that they would sell every day, because they didn't want to go to the trouble to become an Amazon seller. And she became that person who got them set up. And maybe she was making 10 or 20% in the middle on that. So there's a lot of ways to make money online. And yes, you can do it all from your front desk. I'm not gonna talk a lot about e-commerce because it usually requires a lot more knowledge, a lot more sophistication, and a lot more upfront cash in order to get into the business, with some exceptions, okay? So that's it for e-commerce. Now we're going to talk about another category you were almost certain I was going to talk about, and it is a great category. It takes massive amounts of work, and it isn't the kind of work you're expecting to do. But I do know multiplied millionaires who have made money selling in multi-level marketing, okay? Absolutely potential times 10 to make money in multi-level marketing. Amway, Juice Plus, various kinds of parties where you sell different things at these parties, and then like candles and things, and convince the women who've come to the party that they should become a seller, and then you do this multi-level thing. It can be massive amounts of money, but it has nothing to do with how good you are at selling the product. It has nothing to do with how good you are at planning parties. It has everything to do with how good you are at convincing other people to go downstream from you, and then being consistent and persistent enough to find literally dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of those individuals, because only 1 in 10 are going to be any good at their own business, and only 1 in 100 is going to develop a downline. So it takes great management skills, motivational skills, staying on top of these people, in particular the ones who start to show a germ of capability, and then working them and making sure that they're getting their downline, and then you're starting a new downline. You can make so much money in multi-level marketing. Nobody should tell you any differently. But like any small business in America, well fewer than 50% succeed in multi-level marketing. Probably 5% succeed in multi-level marketing. Now, it probably costs you $35 to get involved. Okay, it didn't cost anything to get in the business, and then you spend some time and you find out that you can only make $20 an hour doing the activity, the buying and the selling of the product. You can only make $20 an hour, $25 an hour if you're really good. It's all in the downline. It's all in managing others, just like business in general. Business in general is never about selling onesies and twosies. It's always about building your organization and getting people to work for you. That's where the money is, okay? That's been our continuous theme for 4 days now. I don't know if you've watched all 4 days, but it's been part of our continuous theme. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is one I'm very comfortable and confident in telling you about, because for 20 years, I was a manufacturer selling into this business. And that is the promotional products business, or the advertising specialty business. And it is filled with lots and lots and lots of people who work from their home. And some who work 10 hours a week, and some who work 5 hours a week, and some who work 20 hours a week, and some who work 75 hours a week, and make lots and lots of money in the promotional products business. Now, we all know what the promotional products business is. It's where you take a pen, and you put somebody's brand on the pen, and or you take a cup, or you take a hat, or you take a t-shirt. Well, I was selling bicycle water bottles to the promotional products industry, and selling about $4.5 million a year worth of those bicycle water bottles to the promotional products folks. And so I met the distributors. I met the folks who were spending 5 hours or 10 hours a week just selling their local PTA and their local sports teams, and the little league and the soccer club, and maybe over the bowling alley. So these were folks that had a few friends, and they sold their friends, and they made a little extra money to go out to dinner more often. Okay, but then there was the high flyers. And the promotional products business is a category where you can probably sit in your home and do a great job of setting yourself up online and make that $100,000 a year from home. You'll make even more money if you do a great job of setting yourself up online, and then you go out and you make those calls on the major accounts. You're calling on the major manufacturers in your area. You're calling on the major importers in your area. You're calling on the major restaurant chains in your area. You're calling on everybody who can buy lots and lots and lots of promotional products. And if you can do that and you do it well, and you show that you're concerned about them and you're interested in them, you can make a lot of money in the promotional products business. So that's the one we're going to end on. But we do want to just end with another thought, okay? This is important. I want you to stay to the end. Don't go away now. If you stay this long, I've only touched the surface. There are so many other possible businesses. I'm hoping that you'll go back, if you haven't already, go back through all 4 videos. And as you're going through them, let your mind, let them be prompts. Let the things that I'm suggesting be a prompt for something that might be similar, okay? If I'm talking about the handyman business, maybe that makes you think about the lawn care business. You follow my drift? There's massive amounts of lawn care business out there. And most of the lawn care people out there could care less about your lawn. So what happens if all of a sudden you're hiring people and you're making sure those people do a good job? Do you see my point? Take everything that I've just told you about, and maybe there's something related to that that is right up your alley, something that would really excite you and get you energized, because in small business, you need passion if you want to make that 100,000. You need persistence if you want to make that 100,000. You need to be able to take the bad days if you want to make that 100,000 and still keep going. All right. I can't begin to tell you how often, I've been faced with some crisis, some catastrophe that I didn't know how I was going to get up in the morning. But you got to get up in the morning and you got to get out and go and do it again. As we begin to talk about some of the details about how you might make a decision about which business you'd like to go into, we're going to be talking about a lot of self-evaluation, a lot of tests you can take. Tests to find out if you're a leader. Tests to find out if you're a good business person. Are you the right person to be an entrepreneur? Or would you be better off working for somebody? We're going to have tests, and we're going to have quizzes, and we're going to have worksheets that are going to help you learn a lot about yourself. Learn about your why in life, your purpose. What is it that gets you excited? These are fun tests and worksheets that I've been handing out for years and years and years, and people just love them, and they learn a lot about themselves. Let's talk about what makes you tick. This is Randy Kirk with Small Business Daily. See you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.